What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down DeVonta Smith's route running ability. We're going to be talking about how you guys can use a rocker step to get some separation, how to run an out and up route, and then how you guys can attack zone coverage and kind of like a cover two safety concept here where you got to push up to a safety and work a double move route. Okay, so let's get started with this breakdown. And guys, if you're a receiver and you don't have a quarterback to throw to you and you still want to improve your hands, check out that link in the description. It says improve your hands in 30 days, full 30-day program to get your grip strength better, hand-eye coordination better, full 30-day program to improve your hands, no quarterback necessary. Let's get started. So first things first, this release here, or not this release, this route is going to be like this rocker step post, okay? So when we come off here, it's very important that you want to attack the leverage of this guy when he's an off man like this, right? I want to square him up. I want to attack his midline. I want to get him on a back pedal, and then I throw that 1-2 to get some space. So he changes up tempo very well here, so that's what we're going to talk about as well. So you see when he comes out, let's play at full speed, changes up tempo, 1-2, throws that body, make sure my feet are quick, my feet are sudden, and your upper half is what sells this move. So you see when he comes out here, right? Squaring up the DB, attacking that midline. So when we come out here, I'm attacking him, pushing up vertical. Now that little skip and that hesitation, right? What's that selling, right? Especially if this DB's keeping his inside leverage, he's threatened by this outside. Right? So that's the thing. When you guys attack a DB's leverage, DBs are always coached to keep their leverage, right? So I come off the line, maybe he's inside shade, I angle my stem, I'm trying to attack that midline, and he keeps his leverage to the inside. Fine. That's kind of what we want him to do anyways in the first place, because what is he giving up when he keeps his leverage to the inside? All this space towards the sideline, right? So if I can threaten him and sell with my body to the outside, that's what's going to get him to jump, and that's what's going to get him to be over anxious, right? So if I attack him, I square him up, I get him to keep that leverage, okay, fine. Now I work this rocker step, and this rocker step is literally just two steps like this. It's like a double up release off the line almost. It's more in stride than that, obviously, but it's just like two steps right here where you go one, so you give it here, 1-2. And that first step is so important because it doesn't necessarily need to sell that much, but it needs to be explosive, right? It's got to shoot into the ground because that explosion has got to throw yourself out wide into that second step, right? Because if you can shoot off of this leg and you could throw your upper half, you see how he's able to commit, Smith's able to commit his shoulders and his hips and his eyes all to that corner or that out route. We're selling like I squared him up, I changed my tempo, I cut one time, and then I'm racing him to the out. That's what we want to make him think. So if I could throw my upper half, and you see what he does so well here, he keeps his toes closed and the weight on the inside arch of his foot. That's how you guys are able to get some explosion. You want to be a salesman, but at the same time, you want to be explosive. So if I could sell with my upper half, keep my toes closed, weight on the inside arch of my foot, I can sell this route with my upper half, and I could drive off that inside arch to get this thing back underneath so I could widen the distance that I just created by selling this route. So great job by Smith selling that. He's just squaring him up, changing the tempo, throwing your body to the outside. Now, when I get him to be here, what's very important? That I accelerate out. I use that cut leg, right? That's why we keep our toes forward. If you guys open up your toes on that cut, you don't have any pushback to this post. You keep your weight on the inside arch, you can push, you can rip those arms, and you can continue, you can keep that explosion. You stay in that explosive pad level position. If you open up that toe, you pop up and your chest pops up. You keep your chest down, you drive those arms, we're going to be able to have some acceleration and widen the distance with this DB. I've said it before. Anybody can get space, can you keep space? That's a great job here by Smith. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. It's coming off, change the tempo, 1-2. Throw that upper half. Your upper half is what sells this move. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about this out and up against this like zone corner, right? So he's off, and we're going to be talking about how you guys can go up and win a jump ball as well. So let's break this thing down. So when we got a DB bailing out of there, right? Like he comes down, shows press Bailey's bailing out. So important that we attack his front hip, so his right hip in this case, and that blind spot. That's what we got to work to, right? And luckily, we're running an out and up, so it's very easy to get to that blind spot, right? So you see when Smith off the line of scrimmage, he angles that stem and he attacks him, right? He wants to close. We want to close this gap right here. We want to be as fast as I can trying to close that gap until I get to the depth of the route, right? I get a lot of questions. People ask me all the time, like, oh, I'm in zone. Like, how far should I, like, close the gap of the DB before I break it off? It's to the depth of the route, right? So, like, if you, and I address this simply because me personally, I don't think that that's really necessarily like something you should worry about. Like you should be getting to the depth of the route always, like because there's timing involved in a real game situation. But believe it or not, I get that question a lot, and I say this because if you guys are listening to that video and you have that question, it's about getting to the depth of your route. It's not about okay at a certain point I got to do this and that. It's the depth, it's the timing, because this timing is everything with that quarterback. Timing is so important when you break it down from an offensive scheme standpoint. Anybody could have you go out there and do all the fancy footwork drills, work all the moves, but if you don't have timing, you don't have that with your quarterback, and you don't have timing with the scheme of the play, you're not going to be a successful receiver. You're not going to get the ball because you're taking too much time, right? So it's important that I get up to the depth of the play, but while I'm doing that, that's when I attack that blind spot. That's when I attack that weak hip, and I break to this out route, right? And now this DB is going to open up because he feels us going to this out, right? We commit my hips. I'm fast to this blind spot, or I'm fast to this out route portion of the route, and I'm taking 3 steps, right? I break off here, 1, 2, 3, and I break this thing off, and now it's a race, right? When I'm in this situation, I attack this blind spot, I forced him to open up. This is going to be slower, right? If this DB would have speed turn out of there, right? If he sped turn out of this thing and rotate his hips, like you know what I'm talking about, where he turns this way and he comes out the back door here and drives on this thing, he would have been in a better position to make this play. But because he opens up here, it takes a little bit extra time. If he would have sped turn on this thing, he would have been in a good position to make this play. But because he opened up, we're able to get some separation. I'm able to continue to drive off that break. I use that third step on that out portion. So like I break to the out, I go left, right, left. That left leg, that third step is explosive. I'm pushing off that leg. I'm driving my arms to make sure that I accelerate upfield and widen the distance with this DB. If I could widen the gap with him, I continue to drive. I continue to get upfield. It's an easy throw for this quarterback. Now this ball's underthrown, right? But that doesn't mean I quit on the play, obviously. I got to go up and win this jump ball situation. So anytime you guys are going up for one of those 50-50 balls, you want to go up, grab that thing. You want to be aggressive with your hands. You want to go up strong. You obviously want to have soft hands. You don't want to be you don't want to have hard hands, right, and have this thing bounce off your palms. You want to go up strong. You want to go up with a strong grip and make sure that we're ripping that thing from the DB. When you go up and you catch this thing, what I normally teach is you want to rip and shield with your body. Like you want to be here, you go up and secure it, then you want to rip your right shoulder and turn and protect yourself from this DB. Obviously, there are situations where we can't do that, and obviously there are situations where I just got to go up and then I got to be violent to the tuck. So I go up strong. I put that thing away right now, violent to the tuck, so the DB doesn't have an opportunity to PBU, pass break up, and then I hit this ground, I make this play, I secure that catch, right? So let's go up strong, violent to the catch, or if I go up strong and it's like a jump ball, maybe in a red zone situation, I shield myself with my body so the DB does not have a chance to make that play. You watch a lot of a good NFL guy who does that a lot is like A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown will go up and he'll shield that thing so well with his upper half. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job, you're working this out and up against zone coverage. Now we're going to be talking about out and up and how you guys can sell it a little bit more when it's like an off man or like a cover 2 situation. So let's watch this thing full speed. Coming up here, break, 1, 2, 3, pop this thing off, accelerate out, go up and win that jump ball. It's a great job by Smith here. So now we're going to be talking about this is like a cover 2 situation, running this on a cover 2 safety. So it's very important that we're a salesman on this, right? Because especially when we got this thing against a 2 high safety, we talk more about coverages and stuff like that and how to identify them on my website. However, in this situation, right, when it's 2 high safety and you're running this type of a route and you cut your split down, like in this case, and this corner's sitting in the flat, right? It almost turns into man coverage with this safety, right? It almost turns into man. Everybody, they're not robots back there. They're not just going to go sit in their zone, right? They're going to pattern read. If they don't feel threatened by anything else, they're just going to sit and it is going into his zone anyways, right? So he's responsible for this. He's going to play you almost like man coverage. So how I got to sell this route is like how I would sell it normally, how I would sell it against a man coverage corner plan on me. So when he breaks up to this out route, you see how when he goes here, he kind of rounds into this break, right? He's kind of a little bit lazier with those hips that I would like than what I teach. And you see when he breaks on this out, he doesn't really snap his eyes to the quarterback, and he doesn't really commit his hips, or his hips are drifting upfield, right? So this may be more like a corner, but it almost looks like a corner, right? This isn't really necessarily like out and up. It would make more sense if this was like a corner break, and then he flattens this thing up and brings it up to this fade portion of it. But if he's trying to sell an out route here, which I think he is because he doesn't really necessarily break this thing post, he kind of leaves this thing out wide, so it makes me think that it's an out and up route, right? If it was a post corner and maybe or a corner post, excuse me, if it was a corner post and he broke it like this with his hips right here and he broke off that third step and he ripped back underneath, or maybe he broke this thing up over the top and kept it skinny, then that would make sense, right? But if it's an out and up route, let's talk about that, right? And obviously we don't know exactly what he's running here. I'm assuming it's an out and up because they're a very heavy out and up team, just like you saw, right? They like working him on this out and up. They like getting this thing over the top, and especially against maybe a cover 2. A cover 2 safety, though, a corner post would make more sense, right? So if it's a corner post, I'm fine with this. I think he should have tried to work to get a little bit more skinny, but the way he broke it up fade, the way he broke it up like straight, makes me think that this is an out and up, and it was just a little bit lazy with his hips, right? So when he breaks up on this thing, you see how his hips don't really commit to that 90. If we're trying to run an out and up, let's put it that way. I'm trying to run out and up. I want this DB to try to undercut it, right? So how I get him to undercut is I snap my head around, I run my arms, and I get my hips committed on this 90 break. Anytime you guys are working out and up, you guys got to commit with your speed, your eyes, Eyes necessarily, I don't think, everybody loves to say eyes are the most important. I don't think they're the most important. I think your hips and your shoulders are the most important, because if I'm a DB and I'm watching your hips and I see your hips drifting upfield and you're not looking back for the ball and you're trying to work a double move, I'm going to stay over the top on you, right? But if you rip your hips and you commit your hips on a 90 and maybe you commit your shoulders and you have that same speed out of there, I'm going to drive on this thing because I'm threatened by that out route, right? So that's one thing that I think you could do a little bit better on. If this is a corner post, I'm fine with the angle. Maybe give him a little bit more of a head fake, and then when you break back up to the post, just try to keep it a little bit more skinny, but or try to break to this post a little bit more, maybe get back over the top. But however, if this was an out and up, just got to make sure that we commit our hips, fellas. Got to make sure that I commit my hips to any kind of double move break. Like I said, corner break, that's fine. But on an out break, I really got to rip those hips and get going towards the sideline, okay? So I hope this helped you guys out in terms of a double move. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So he breaks here, 1, 2, 3. Flatten this thing up straight, breaks back to the inside, make this play. That's still a great route, still a pretty talented guy, very, very fast guy, so it's very, very tough to cover that, especially on a double move. If you guys got speed, working those double moves is going to be a big part of your game. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also, guys, if you want to get better hands, check out that link in the description. It says improve your hands in 30 days. I'll see you guys next time.